degrees Celsius. That's what the tarmac thermometer read at Dubai International the afternoon the air stopped feeling like air and started feeling like a wall. 124 degrees Fahrenheit. Step outside, and your skin doesn't warm up. It stings, almost like standing way too close to an open oven, except the sky is the oven and you can't close the door. If you look at the skyline from a rooftop on a day like that, something weird happens. The Burj Khalifa, over 2,700 feet tall, starts to wobble. Not for real, obviously, it's the heat. The air near the asphalt gets so hot it bends light, making the tallest building on Earth shimmer like it's underwater or dissolving at the edges. A total mirage, swallowing the most expensive monument to human ambition. That image really stays with you. A city built to defy every physical limit, flickering in and out of focus because the air itself is breaking down. Here's what the developers selling million-dollar penthouses won't mention. Dubai has crossed a dangerous line. Climate scientists use a term called wet bulb temperature. Basically, it's a measurement that tells you if a human body can actually cool itself down by sweating. Once humidity and heat push that number past a certain point, your sweat can't evaporate. Your internal cooling system fails. A healthy person, sitting still in the shade with plenty of water, can die in just a few hours. The coastline where Dubai sits has already hit that threshold. Researchers at MIT warned about this years ago. They said this exact region could become one of the first places on Earth where just being outside at the wrong time can kill you. And those wrong times are happening constantly now. Step back from the tower for a minute, because the scale of this is wild. Dubai isn't just a hot desert town. It's a 40-year gamble. A massive bet that human money and engineering could tame a brutal environment and turn it into a playground. 50 years back, this was mostly a quiet fishing and pearl diving village of around 60,000 people. Then the oil money arrived, and things went wild. They built artificial islands shaped like palm trees, indoor ski slopes with actual snow while it's 115 degrees outside, massive malls, 7-star hotels, refrigerated pools. The whole economy relies on the promise that you can live in the desert without ever having to feel it, which means the entire city relies on one thing: air conditioning. It's not a luxury here, it's literal life support. Around 70% of Dubai's peak electricity in the summer goes straight to cooling. Not factories, not lights. Just keeping the inside of buildings 20 or 30 degrees colder than the air outside. If the power grid cut out on a July afternoon, the modern city would become unlivable before a single work shift ended. So what happens when the heat moves from uncomfortable to straight up hazardous? What happens when that temperature gap gets wider every summer? That's the issue. And we're seeing it play out right now. The numbers tell a reality the tourism boards try to skip over. Summer days here hit 115 degrees regularly, and July often pushes past 120. But the raw heat is only half the problem. The Persian Gulf is shallow and warm, so it pumps insane amounts of humidity right into the air. You get blasted with heat and humidity at the same time, which drives that wet bulb number straight into the danger zone. On some coastal mornings, the heat index has cracked 140 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a terrifying number for a place where millions of people are just trying to live their daily lives. This isn't just a basic heat wave anymore. Heat waves used to be temporary events. They'd hit for a week, everyone would complain, and then things would cool down. In Dubai, extreme heat is just the baseline now. The summer season keeps expanding. What used to be 3 rough months is turning into 5. And the nights don't bring relief anymore. All that concrete and glass traps heat during the day and radiates it back out all night long. The city never actually gets a chance to cool off. Look at who is carrying the weight of that reality. Dubai's population sits around 3.7 million, and roughly 85 to 90% are foreign residents. A massive portion of them are construction workers and laborers from places like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and the Philippines. They're pouring concrete, welding steel, and working on scaffolding in that brutal heat for pretty low wages. When conditions get dangerous, they're the ones standing right in it, while executives sit in air-conditioned offices 60 floors up. That's the huge disconnect here. A city built on the promise of total climate control for the wealthy, kept running by people who get almost no protection from the heat while working. The government set up a midday work ban in the summer, stopping outdoor labor between 12:30 and 3 p.m. On paper, it sounds good, but in reality, dangerous heat doesn't just show up for 2.5 hours in the middle of the day. It covers the entire afternoon, and when project deadlines get tight, those rules often get pushed aside anyway. Heat stress doesn't look like a sudden accident. It's quiet. Your body runs out of water, your core temp climbs, and your organs slowly take the hit. Doctors across the Gulf have seen a huge rise in chronic kidney issues among young laborers who worked for years in these conditions. Men in their 30s end up with organ damage you'd expect in someone twice their age. Official reports might say heart failure. But the real cause was a body that simply overheated. To keep everyone else cool, the grid works overtime. But AC units don't magically create cold air. They just dump indoor heat outside. Pushing heat into 120-degree air takes massive amounts of energy, and efficiency plummets right when demand peaks. And since most of that power comes from burning natural gas, the system creates a bizarre feedback loop. Cooling the city requires burning fossil fuels, which heats up the planet, which makes the city even hotter, forcing the ACs to run even harder. To fight back, Dubai is trying almost everything. When it doesn't rain, they fly planes into the clouds to drop salt particles and force rainfall cloud seeding. They've built chilled walkways, air-conditioned bus stops, and even laid cooling pipes under public beach sand so people don't burn their feet walking to the water. They've basically constructed an underground indoor version of the city so you never have to step outside in August. It's impressive engineering, honestly. No other place on Earth has spent this much cash trying to beat the heat. But every single one of these fixes only treats the symptoms. None of them fix the core problem. They keep the bubble cool for those who can afford it, while making the broader environment warmer in the process. An air conditioner can protect you inside a building, but it can't fix the environment outside. And this isn't just a Dubai problem. It's a preview of what's coming for cities like Phoenix, New Delhi, or Baghdad. Dubai just ran into this wall first because it built a mega city in the middle of a brutal desert. The city sells a compelling idea that climate is just another design problem you can solve with enough money, steel, and power. But that cool air is borrowed time. It relies on a grid running constantly to keep the desert out. When night falls, the worst of the heat dips slightly, and the skyline lights up completely. The Burj Khalifa glows like a giant neon tower, the fountains run, and crowds finally head outside. Looking from the desert dunes back toward the highway, the whole place looks almost unreal. It makes you wonder, is this glowing city proof that humans can engineer their way through any climate, or is it a preview of what happens when we try to outrun nature with air conditioning? The thermometer is going to give us the answer eventually. We're just waiting to see it.